All right, guys, I'm A-Way, and this is A-Way The Shed. Today we got Cruz.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cruz, founder of Blaq America Cruise Control Enterprise.
Yes, sir. Take us back to your childhood, man. Was it a two-parent situation? What was your childhood like?
Started out like that. My mom and dad got married and stuff, and they got divorced back in '08. You know, it hit me. You know what I mean? Because I'm the oldest, so I was the man of the house and everything. But it taught me, values and different stuff like that. So I got to live on both sides of the spectrum. Like with my mom, it was four of us and stuff, so she was taking care of us by herself. And I'm seeing her grit, her hustle. And then my dad, he started working at BF Goodrich and, had another solid job too, where, he was making a lot of good money and stuff. So when he moved on, to his next relationship and stuff, he was doing well. So we got to, be on both sides of the spectrum of like living the good and, also, struggling when we was with my mom and stuff. So that's kind of how it started. And then my dad, he was a rapper and stuff. So I always watched his process and was in the studio with him, you know what I mean? And shit, back in school, you know what I mean? I was rapping, we would rap on the bus, rap in the class, wherever we was at, with it, we was doing it. So, that's where it came from. But then like I started taking it more serious back in like 2015. My dad took me to the studio for the first time, my 15th birthday. And then like I fell in love with the process of that shit. And like, it's been part of my life since, you know what I mean? I ain't never not been in the studio.
Hell yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit. So middle school, were you into sports? What were you doing? Were you just rapping on the bus like you said at this time?
Shit, I was doing a little bit of everything, but like I said, I ain't take sports serious. I did track and stuff like that. I did it to stay fit, stay active and shit, stay productive and compete. I'll train with my homies and stuff, and I'll talk shit to them. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that, you know what I mean? It was never really my focus. I was always focused on like other stuff. All the other stuff took my attention for real.
Hell yeah. You said you were infatuated with money at a young age, you'd say?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I used to, clown and shit. Like I used to go to Miami, and like before I'll get on the bus, I used to go in this gas station off Rudisill and shit. And I used to steal like packs of gum, and I would snag like maybe 40 packs or some shit. And I had this leather jacket, during the winter time. And I'll stuff the jacket and I'll be on the bus, just selling the gum, or in school selling the gum and shit. And then, then I would like go buy some and then, flip it and stuff. Cause then that's when I found out the little wholesale process and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was my little scheme hustle and stuff, when I just always figured out something. Like I drew pictures for people, sold it to them, you know what I mean? So like whatever I wanted to do, like I created something to make some type of money. For real.
Yeah. Who inspired you? Was this your mom or your dad? Did you see that you were like, damn, I gotta get it like them?
I'll say both of them, because like both of them work hard. They, showed me work ethic. Yeah. So I knew whatever I was going to tap into, it was like an all or nothing situation. And then, like I said, just growing up on both sides, where I seeing my mom struggle, take care of us, and still make moves, and moved us out the hood and shit. And then, my dad, going from where he was to, making good money and shit like that. Like they showed me good stature in regards to that. So, but they also showed me a life that I didn't want to work for nobody. So that was the only like thing that we always butted heads on, was like, they were brought up different, and I wanted different for myself, because I'm like, they didn't see my everyday hustle, like, how I was making money. I'm like, I got different hustles and shit, like, so they didn't see no stability in what I was doing until like, I moved out of town and made something happen.
Hell yeah. Now, when you said you wanted to be a rapper, I know you said your dad took you to the studio. Was he all for it?
Yeah. Not at first, because I was like doing the freestyle. Like I said, I was, we used to have fun with it, doing freestyles, and, it was jokey joke rap shit, you know what I mean? So like he pulled me to the side and was like, look, I rap about my life, I rap about this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? So he was like, you got to put your life on these beats, and you coming from stature, you coming from me, so you're not going to be out here doing no jokey joke rap shit. You need to take this shit serious. If you want me to take you serious and take your music serious and take you to the studio, stop the jokey joke rap shit. That was literally his words. And ever since then, I channeled in, he, still like, I don't even know what I created.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. In 2015, how old were you at this time?
19, going on 20.
Were you in college or were you just?
I dropped out.
Okay.
Dropped out of high school, and it was going into 2016. Dropped out of high school. Found out I was having a kid, and I was making money on the side with another like project and stuff. So, like I was working at Blue Beacon Truck Wash at the time, and washing semi trucks and everything. And that was a lot to balance because I was working 8 to 12 hours a day, and then waking up, having to do homework, because I'll leave school, go to work. So balancing that shit was like hard. You know what I mean? So with that, plus my little side hustle and shit, I was making cool money. So like I had made a cool little deposit, one day in school, and I just left, never went back type shit. And then once I found out I was gonna be having, a son and shit, I was making good money on the side. I just quit my job. I didn't even really go back to 1 cent. So I just kind of dedicated my life to, the grind for real.
Hell yeah. Says you don't want to work for nobody. Was there any certain situation?
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't work for nobody, you know what I mean? It's just, it's levels to it, you know what I mean? It's like you got entry level working for somebody, and then you got, corporate level. I wanted to get to, provide value to get to that corporate level, making, I could be, a sales guy or somebody, at a firm or some shit making 100 plus, you know what I mean? Versus settling for mediocre shit, you know what I mean? So it's levels to it. I'm never opposed to it, you know what I mean? And it's no knock to anybody that do it or have to do it, you feel me? But I just had it for that time period. It was free money. I was living with my mom at the time. When I was working a job, I invested that shit. So I just used it as a vehicle. My little side hustle took off faster than what I thought. So I was comfortable when I made the decision, like, oh shit, I ain't about to do this. And then once I went full time with it, it was like, it was over with,
Yeah. Well, isn't it harder, you say though, to be self-sufficient how you are, and than it is to, let's say, take the safe and easy entry level? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you would think like in your head like you want to own 100% of the business, you know what I'm saying? And we come from the hood and shit, so like if we own the business, it's like, oh, it's mine, you know what I mean? If I got somebody working for me, I'm paying them like, not really what they worth, and they take it, accepting it because they want to support you and shit like that, but once I got into like LA and I got around like different like business owner VC guys, and like they started teaching me like, you're gonna have to give up a percentage if you want to, take this places, you know what I mean? So like once I really like got into that mindset of like, I can't do this shit by myself, and I'm gonna have to give up something to get something or get to where I want to be, then that's when like everything really changed. Then it was less about myself and it was more about, okay, I got the vision, what's your goal? Okay, all right, we got shit that's aligned up. Let's make some shit happen now. You know what I mean? So then that's how we kind of created like a little formula with that.
How old were you when you went out to LA?
I was going on 21.
And then you had went to Jersey before or after?
The Jersey that was 2021. Yeah, beginning of 2021.
Okay. Yeah. So what was one of the business adventures that made you go out first?
So I was doing like network marketing. So when I first initially moved to San Francisco in 2016, I was going through some personal stuff. And then I needed to make some money. So I was, I had bought my own car. I was doing everything myself. My mom and them wasn't really, helping me or financially supporting me and stuff like that. So I learned how to do a lot of on my own. So I moved out to LA, not LA, but I moved to San Francisco first. And my guy was helping me get on my feet and shit. He had real estate stuff going on out there. And so he just plugged me in, and I just helped him, get shit off the ground. So I made a bag doing that, and I got connected with people. Like, you get connected fast as hell out there, So I got connected with people, and they loved my mind, and I was working on my shoes at the time. So that was what I was like really passionate about and shit. So once they like, oh, you making money, you got this, so everybody wanted to like put they, get their hands on the project, and gave me a lot of pointers and shit. So, that's where it kind of started, was like network marketing and kind of doing, what I was doing for like MLM companies and stuff, and then transitioning to, doing my own stuff with investing out in China, and working with different people. So I got connected with a lot of people when I moved, you know what I mean? Because like my ideas was like hella big, and I thought, none of that shit could really be accomplished. But then when I moved out there, you know what I mean, that kind of just literally opened up my mind to a whole nother world and shit, And then once I really locked in on what I wanted to do, whatever I wanted was just accessible to me. It was just what was my level of execution? You know what I mean? My follow through.
Hell yeah. Is this a fast city? San Francisco, Jersey, all these spots?
I'll say so. You know, I'll say so. I would say LA is more fast paced. You know, like I said, you know, you can be like me doing being an artist and me doing, you know, marketing for certain people, and you know, so you can get different opportunities. You know, my guy Spencer work at, you know, with Interscope, he'll be like, oh, we got a Coachella event, or we got this, you know, you can get a media pass, or you know, my guy, you know, got mansion parties we go to, and you know, networking events that they do in these little mansions and stuff. So it's like you never know who, you know, what's gonna happen, who you gonna meet, and then you meet somebody at these places, and then they like, what you doing tomorrow? What you doing that? So that's where the fast pace like come, because that's how fast things go. You know what I mean? When you're in the right rooms.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. So then now you're back in Fort Wayne. Is that permanently, or you plan on moving out to a faster city? Because I know you're making a lot of business moves and deals when you're out there.
I say, you know, I found a median on how like I could still make my moves. You know what I mean? Because even before I even left, I was still making moves and shit, but I was just in and out of town. You know what I mean? So, like, I could still enjoy that luxury of like traveling and shit. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm right now, like, you know, looking to buy a house, you know, here, but you know, I got an apartment out in India and stuff. So I'll still be back and forth, you know, a lot. But you know, Fort Wayne always gonna be home. You know what I mean? Shit is where, you know, everything started for real. So, you know, that's what I'm doing. Not, you know, everything for it, but just, you know, when I step in the rooms and doing the shit that I do, you know, and I want to take it to different levels and stuff, I want to put the city on the map and kind of get an entry point. So I want to my goal is to get more